What is up, everybody, and welcome to Boosted Motorsports. Today's video, I'm going to update you guys on all the project vehicles. The trucks, the cars, everything that's going on. I know the last video you guys saw that we blew up this Dodge Dakota RT with the Magnum engine. So that 5.9 is, not toast, it's still salvageable, but we can't continue to push it or run it in the condition that's in right now. So all those metal fragments, if you haven't seen that video, go back and check that video. By the way, that video is almost at 600 likes, and I promised you guys, and I'm a man of my word, if you get that video to 1,000 likes, then I will skip fast forward and tell you guys exactly what we're doing to the Viper. But until then, you guys are still gonna eventually know what's going on with the Viper, but I just have to tackle some other stuff first before I get to the power adding stuff. So let me talk a little bit about what the mods are, what we're doing, and just to start off, so the Viper, we are going to make it stop better. So the Vipers from the factory, they don't stop too well. They have tiny brakes on them from the factory. So that's one of the Achilles heel of the Viper is the brakes. So we went ahead and got the newer Brembo brakes from a newer Viper. So we have 4 of these massive calipers. They're gonna end up going on this car. So we're not gonna do it today. I'm still waiting for a couple more parts, but IPSCO, and I'll link them down in the description. They hooked us up with the bracket kit to mount these to that car. So they sell these awesome brackets and lots of cool stuff for the Viper. So these showed up, and I'll get into a full review on this for you guys. There is a ton of IPSCO parts on this car, and every one of their products is absolutely amazing. So these are the brackets that are gonna end up mounting, and it'll give us the position and the bolt holes, and we have all the hardware, super good kit, and all the instructions right there. But that is one project. So I just have to order some steel braided brake lines, and then we can crack into that. I'm also waiting for new brake rotors to come, and this is actually going to be a more killer setup than the newer Vipers, because we're going to be using massive 14-inch rotors all the way around, whereas the newer Vipers don't even use those. We're using 4 front rotors on this thing on all 4 corners, but I'll get into all that later. Next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, so the truck. So I know a lot of guys are interested in this, and don't worry if you're here for the Dakota, we'll talk about that in just a second. But in the last video, we ended up removing the grill and removing the grill inserts. It's still not together, as you can see, and I'm just waiting for the honeycomb inserts to show up, and then we'll tackle that project. Also, if you guys did just notice, the headlights finally showed up for this too. So just if you guys are purists, like Mopar purists, don't worry, I'm not, getting rid of all the original parts. We're just kind of putting my touch on this thing, and with your guys' input, but we're just kind of cleaning it up, making it look a little bit more modern. At the same time, I don't know, just making it look a little bit different, a little bit more unique. So we are going to keep the headlights. We're keeping the stock 22-inch rims that come on this thing, but as you can see now, we have 24-inch Hellcat reps. We also have the headlights, which we're going to keep the stock ones, so don't worry, but I have these ones as well. So these are the exact same as the OEM ones, but they're just black housing. So these look phenomenal, and I can't wait to get them on the truck. So it has a smoked amber corner, so you can see it's a little bit darker than the bright orange. So that's smoked, and then all black housing, but it still retains the reflective inner portion on the housing, so that you still have great light output. So those are going to look unreal on there. I'm not going to put them on just yet, because I want to make sure, and I want to get the grill done before we have the whole truck apart, because I want to see the progression one thing at a time. And not only that, but you guys know, as far as the fender gap there with how the truck sits, we're not going to slam this thing ridiculously or anything, but I do want to tighten it up just a tiny bit, and for that I have this here. So I already have all the parts. This was a used kit, obviously. So we got this from Chad, and we've got the front springs, and we've got the rear 3-inch lowering blocks. So since this truck has leaf springs in the back, and the axle is flipped, meaning the axle is above the leaf springs on that truck, you put in these blocks, and I believe these are JVSP is how you say it, and they're a Viper truck specialist. But you put in these blocks and it moves the axle further up above the leaf spring, which results in a lower. So this is gonna lower that truck in the back 3 inches without sacrificing ride quality, and then we're gonna lower the front as well. So should sit nice and level once we're done, and a more aggressive look too. So this is coming, and also we have the U-bolts. I'm gonna clean up all that stuff before we put it on though, so it looks all good. But like I said, we're moving forward, lots of stuff. Now, the Dakota. You know, a lot of people are into the Dakota. I am too, but for my own sanity, I just need to take a little bit of a break from the Dakota. Not too long by any means, but at the same time, I just need to try to figure out which direction we're gonna go with this thing. I've kind of seen a few 5.9s pop up that are out of, you know, wrecked vehicles and whatnot, and I've been trying to see if I can get one of those for cheap. If I can, I might just pick one of those up, slap it in there for a few $100s, and we'll just send it and see what happens. The exact same thing might happen, or it might take it. We don't know. That's just one of the things. That's one of the, I guess, risks with trying to push an engine that's over 20 years old with unknown history. We don't know what its history is, what condition it's in, all that stuff. So the other thing is, and again, I just need a break from this truck. This truck has just been a nightmare since day one, but we might pull the engine out and then kind of do a budget build on it and just put new bearings in it so that we can get it back running. I do at some point, if we stick with the 5.9, I would like to get, you know, heads and cam and all that stuff, but that stuff is money. And still, if we do all that stuff, this truck and the Magnum engine is kind of limited in my opinion. You can't really go crazy with this. I know people have, so you know, you guys will probably try to correct me in that sense, but I'm just saying the heads themselves, the way they're casted, you know, the design of them and the size of the runners that come out of the head, it is almost doomed from the factory. So you have 2 bolts in the bolt pattern, and the size of the runner that can come out of that is pretty small. So it doesn't matter how much you port it, you're only limited to that exhaust port shape and the size of it, which is small for the size and displacement of this engine. So that's just my personal opinion on it. Obviously there's guys making lots of power, or decent amount of power, but like I said, the newer stuff, the newer technology, you can get more power easier, and it might be better to go that way. So I have my eye on a couple Hellcat swaps, but they're still, you know, I'm not rich, you guys. I know, you know, you see all this stuff in the background and you might think that I am, but at the same time, understand that all these parts that I'm constantly ordering, maybe not specifically these headlights, but all the stuff, you know, the wheels and the supercharger kit for this and all the parts for that, like, I am putting a ton of money back into this channel. So while, you know, you guys might think I'm, you know, a millionaire or something, I don't really have any money saved up because it's all going back into this to, you know, have fun, show you guys what's going on and all that. So everything's going back in the channel. So I don't really have like 10 grand just to drop on a Hellcat swap. That's where I'm at. If we got rid of some of this stuff, we might be able to do it, but at the same time, this isn't going anywhere. That's definitely not going anywhere. I know some guys hate on the S2000, but it's not really worth that much money anyways, and it's just a cheap, affordable toy that I go to the actual race courses with. So anyways, don't be too sad about the Dakota. We're gonna get something here figured out shortly, but for now and today, it's gonna go outside because we need this bay to work on stuff. We're gonna have to work on this in the next day. And also, we are gonna be going to the racetrack, not the drag strip unfortunately with this, but I'm gonna be going to the racetrack this weekend, which is gonna be a ton of fun. I'm super excited. I haven't driven this track, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, you guys. So I'm gonna document that whole process, and we're gonna be taking the Honda S2000, which is fully set up to go to the racetrack. It's got stiff suspension, it's got excellent racing brakes on it, it's got steel braided brake lines, and it has all the downforce as well. So it's not gonna be the fastest car, it's only 240 horse stock, but they do pretty well at racetracks. So I'm gonna have a ton of fun. You know, I need to just get out of the garage, go have some fun with some of these toys, which is the ultimate goal. So I don't know, there's options, you guys. So we could tinker with this stuff, or we could, and I've contemplated this, but give me your feedback down below. We could honestly get rid of the Dakota, get rid of that S2000 outside, and replace it with something much more capable. So as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, that's not going anywhere. This is not going anywhere. These two are, you know, vehicles that are here to stay. But this one, I don't have too much sentimental value attached to at the moment. I've pretty much rebuilt the whole thing at this point, but at the same time, you know, we did all new brakes, we did all new bushings. Pretty much we've replaced and upgraded everything. So the truck chassis is good, but we need to find a power plant for that and continue tinkering with it. Or we get rid of this, get rid of the S2000, and we get something newer that we can actually go to the track with and go have some fun. So let me know what your take is on that below. I'm not looking to put myself into more debt, but there is quite a few different vehicles that we could get, like whether it's a Hellcat itself and it's already got the Hellcat drivetrain in it. It's kind of overdone. Lots of guys on YouTube have already done that. Or we get, I know there's a lot of Mopar fans on here, but we get a C7 Z06, which is something I've wanted for a while. It starts with 650 horsepower supercharged. It's lightweight. We could go to the road course. We could also go to the drag strip, and we could be a pretty good contender. So I know it only has 650 horse, but you can mod those to be like 900 wheel pretty easy, and it's way lighter than the Hellcat. It's like 1,000 pounds lighter than a Hellcat. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Let me know what your take is down below. And yeah, right now I'm gonna roll the Dakota out. So let's get this thing out of here. I am here by myself and have to push this out right now. So yeah, that's how I feel about it right now. Let's get this thing out because I got some other stuff to do, and I got some maintenance to do the daily, and then I have to get the S2000 prepped for the track in the next few days. And hopefully, if I have time, I want to tackle the lowering kit on this while we wait for the grills. So lots of stuff. Let's roll this out. This thing is a pig to push. I can't even push over that. I don't know if I'm weak, but I just put more air in the tires. I don't want this thing to go flying down the driveway, as you can understand. So see if I can get it over that bump without pushing it 100 miles an hour now. And that thing was an absolute pig to get it over there without pushing it 100 miles an hour. So let's see how far out we can get it. I still have to somehow figure this all out where I can get this out to get it over here. We're gonna need, I gotta do some maintenance on my daily. Also have to do some maintenance on that S2000 before we go to the track. And we wanna put in that lowering kit. So we need this space. You're gonna have to go outside for now. All right, you guys, so I managed to get the Dakota out there. So she's gonna have to sit out there for a little bit because, like I said, this definitely isn't gonna stay outside, and that's not gonna stay outside. And we need this space to work on projects. So yeah, pushing that thing around is no fun task. I'm sure if you had several people, but it is not a light truck to push around. I've aired them up to at least 45 PSI in the tires, and it's still a slug to sit there and push. So yeah, I'm gonna work on my daily driver. Not that you guys are excited in that, so I'm not gonna include that. But I'm just gonna change the oil on that thing. You can also find this video as well. I have another channel as well that I just do a little bit more boring stuff on. But if you guys have any suggestions, if you guys come across a cheap Hellcat swap for that truck, or if somebody wants to take that project off my hands, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't do that to you guys, but yeah, all jokes aside, yeah, we're gonna try and work on some stuff, and we got a lot more on the way, you guys. So definitely gonna be excited to get that underway. Huge plans for this that I will release, and if you haven't given the last video a thumbs up, or we blew up the engine in that, make sure you go back and do that as well. We're pretty close. I think we're at about almost 600 likes. We get to 1,000, I'll let you guys know exactly what's going on and show you guys all the parts, or you'll have to wait until we finish the brakes and some of the other items that we need to get to on this before we get to the power adders, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Also, you guys can support me by clicking on any of the merch down below or clicking that join button. All of your support goes back into this channel, you guys. So thanks again, see you on the next one.